Kat and Jess Talk the Best, where we're going to be talking about IMDb's top 250 movies from April 12th, 2018. My name is Kat.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are talking about the third movie in our Christmas event, our holiday event, which is The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is an animation family fantasy film from 1993. This has an 8 on, hold on one sec, I forgot to switch to this movie on IMDb. I got distracted by books.
As normal.
Yep, that's per usual. Okay, this has an 8 on 276,123 votes. The spoiler-free synopsis. The film follows the misadventures of Jack Skellington, Halloweentown's beloved Pumpkin King, who has become bored with the same annual routine of frightening people in the real world. When Jack accidentally stumbles on Christmastown, all bright colors and warm spirits, he gets a new lease on life. He plots to bring Christmas under his control by kidnapping Santa Claus and taking over the role. But Jack soon discovers even the best laid plans of mice and skeleton men can go seriously awry. I love that synopsis. It's great.
Oh, best laid plans of mice and skeleton men. Oh my god. That's great.
That was a good one.
Steinbeck might be rolling his grave a little bit, but that's okay.
That's okay.
So, this is directed by Henry Selick, who also directed James and the Giant Peach and Coraline.
Mm-hmm. 2
other stop-motion films. This stars, I have to say both of them. So, Jack is played by 2 different people, actually. The speaking voice is Chris Sarandon, who we saw in Princess Bride, and Danny Elfman, who is the singing voice of Jack. And then, of course, it also stars Catherine O'Hara.
Yep. Who
we've also seen.
Yep, we had her in our Halloween event with Beetlejuice. Yep. Love that movie. I love her. She's great.
Wonderful actress.
Like, I don't ever think I've seen anything with her that I didn't like her acting in.
Same.
So, the ratings. On IMDb, 29.1% of users rated this at an 8. Metacritic has an 82. Rotten Tomatoes, 95 on 94 critical reviews. Too Fresh, Kenneth Turan. Part avant-garde art film, part amusing but morbid fairy tale. It is a delightfully ghoulish holiday musical that displays more inventiveness in its brief 75 minutes than some studios can manage in an entire year.
Beautiful.
Say ouch to whoever he was directing that at.
Exactly. I'm like, yeah, that was a slap in some people's faces, but yeah. I liked it.
And then Jay Boyer. Burton and his collaborators present a movie musical that is nothing like you've ever seen. True.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, Too Rotten. David Starrett. Animation is a wonderful medium, but it's almost too compatible with Burton's uninhibited approach. When literally anything goes, even the most original idea can get lost in the creative shuffle.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, whatever floats your boat, dude.
And then Ralph Novak. Adults, despite being wowed by the dazzling, geez, how'd they do that animation, will find their attention wandering to Christmases past. I think he means like adults that have didn't watch this growing up, because I'm an adult and I enjoy this movie.
I was like, screw you, I'm an adult and I love this movie. But I'm guessing like older adults that didn't grow up with this, I'm guessing.
Or like saw it when it first came out and had to take their kids or something. But even then, like, this is one of my dad's favorite movies, and it came out when I was a kid. Actually, this came out
93.
Yeah, as I say, this came out right after I was born. So my dad didn't even have to take me. He probably took my brother to see it and just loved it.
I was like, my parents love this movie too. And I will say, they're almost 60. So I don't know what adults you're hanging out with, dude, but whatever. So the consensus.
The Nightmare Before Christmas is a stunningly original and visually delightful work of stop-motion animation.
Exactly.
I agree. I enjoy this movie a lot. So the money. The budget was $18 million. Opening weekend, it made $191,232. Domestic gross, $75,082,668. International gross, $13,088,423 for a worldwide total of $88,171,091. For the awards, this was nominated for an Oscar, but it did not win. It did win 7 other awards and had 15 other nominations. So the 2020 awards, this was a little bit more recently, 2014, Best Original Score, Danny Elfman. Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films, Best Fantasy Film, Best Music. The Annie Awards, Best Individual Achievement for Creative Supervision in the Field of Animation. And then Best Individual Achievement for Artistic Excellence in the Field of Animation. Dallas-Fort Worth Film Critics Association Awards, Best Animated Film. And then the Kids' Choice Awards, Favorite Movie. And that's all the awards. So, initial thoughts. Do you want me to go first?
You should go first. I'm trying to contain myself.
Like I said, this is one of my dad's favorite movies, so I grew up watching it pretty often. We'd watch it for Halloween, and we'd watch it for Christmas, and then sometimes we'd just watch it whenever we wanted to. But I love this movie. It's fun. I love the animation. I love the music. Pretty much everything about it. Like, there's not really much in it that I don't like that I can think of off the top of my head. I grew up watching it, so it's one of those that I don't think will ever get old for me. It's just a really, really good movie. That's all I got, because I know you got a lot.
I'm containing myself. I am. I really am. I'm trying my best. So, I absolutely love this movie. I don't remember the first time I watched it, because I grew up watching it. This is my brother and I's movie. So we can literally quote the entire thing back to each other. Like, it was so funny. So it was like weeks ago. It was in, like October, November, something. I accidentally sent Kat a text message of a Nightmare Before Christmas quote.
Hey, but I knew what it was.
You did. I was proud of you for that. But I was supposed to send it to my brother. And I sent it to Kat accidentally. But Kat was like, ha, nice. I'm like, oh shit, wrong person, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't understand why you were sending it to me, so I was like, that's cool, but I don't understand.
It was supposed to be to my brother, because that's what my brother and I do. We send each other quotes. And it was a Nightmare Before Christmas one that was in my head. And so, like I said, we can literally quote the entire movie to each other. Back and forth. We know the entire movie. I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. I don't. I really don't. I love pretty much everything about it. Again, it's one of my favorite movies. I will say that. Trying to think what else about it.
It's a good movie.
It's a fantastic movie. Every Christmas, it's funny, my best friend always gets me something Nightmare Before Christmas related. Because she knows how much I love this movie. And everyone knows Nightmare Before Christmas is a good go-to if you're looking for a gift for me. Yeah. Is anything related to this movie. So, again, That's how much I love it.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
That was your warning. If you haven't watched the film yet, then stop listening and come back after you've watched it. Alright, so it starts out with like the holiday trees. That's what I always called them. I was like, I want to go to the holiday trees. That's what I would always say when I was little.
Yeah, it's and the narrator's talking about, where the holidays come from and everything and all that.
He's like, he says, oh no, I'll save that because I love how he says it. His delivery of his lines, the narrator, I just love it. He's great.
It's good.
Yeah.
And then it zooms into the tree that has a jack-o'-lantern on it.
Yeah.
And it opens up. And the song, This Is Halloween, immediately starts.
I love this song.
It's a fantastic song. Every single Halloween, my students always ask me to play this song. Every single year. So, it's that popular.
The day that I watched this, even before I started watching the movie, I was sitting there singing this song because I knew it was coming, and I got to listen to this song today because this is one of my absolute favorite songs. I love this song so much.
It's a great song, really is. Of course, you start meeting all these different the citizens of Halloweentown through their song,
but not the citizens of the other Halloweentown because there's two different Halloween towns.
We are talking about Nightmare Before Christmas, damn it.
I know, but
not that other Halloween town. That's different.
I love Halloweentown. That's a good movie.
I was like, I'm surprised it hasn't been one of your movies yet.
It probably will be, but I'm trying to kind of space some things out. I've got a plan.
Okay.
That's why some of the movies I haven't picked yet, and then other movies I have picked. I got a plan. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Same with the superhero ones. I got a plan for that too, so.
And I don't, so. It works out.
Alright, so yeah, then the song's over, and everybody's, celebrating that they did they had a great Halloween, and they did a great job.
They're all cheering on Jack.
Yeah.
Jack Skellington, who is the Pumpkin King.
Yep. And Sally is out there. She's, trying to watch and stuff. But the doctor comes to take Sally away, and he's, tugging on her arm, and her arm gets pulled off.
Well, she's also a rag doll.
Yeah.
So her limbs can come off pretty easily.
Yeah. When I was younger, though, I always thought that part was funny. I was like, oh, she's in trouble.
It's like, oh, her arm fell off. Okay. And she just, runs off.
Yeah.
And you see people talking to Jack, and he's like, thank you. And then the mayor.
Yeah.
I like the mayor. He's like, we haven't announced the award yet. And so Jack's like, okay, I get some time to myself.
Yeah, because... And he's going on, the most blood sucked in one night.
Most blood drained in a single evening.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was like, that one was always I thought that one was so funny when I was little. I was like, yeah, that's funny.
So Jack's walking, and the musicians are like, nice work. And he's like, yeah, just like last year. Mm-hmm. And the year before that. And the year before that.
So you can tell he's kind of irritated.
He just, if you're stuck in a routine, it's the same thing over and over again, you kind of get bored.
Yeah.
And you kind of get disheartened. And that's where you get him walking into the cemetery and everything. And he calls his, his ghost dog, Zero.
Yeah, Zero. I love Zero.
Zero. And everything.
Jack's Lament.
Yes, Jack's Lament. And he's talking about how he just feels so empty.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. He's like, I want something new. And I remember the song, like, in high school. I was like, this is my song. It's so my song. And some days I do feel like Jack. I do. And just Sally is in the cemetery. She hears everything that he's talking about.
Yeah, and she kind of, like, talks to herself, but, like, she's talking to herself to where she can hear it, but she's really responding to Jack's song, and she's like, I understand.
And she gets some deadly nightshade.
Yes. She likes to gather things, to make things, to interrupt other people's plans.
She's not stupid. And then she's, what is it?
She's back
to her house that she shares with Dr. Finkelstein.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you're back. And she's like, well, I had to come back. You have my arm.
Yeah.
He fixes it for her, and she's like, I am just so, like, impatient about everything, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you're just going through a phase. It's fine, you know. It'll pass.
Yep. And,
Jack's wandering with Zero through the forest because he just kept walking through it.
Yep. And Zero wants to play, but Jack's like, I don't want to really play. But
he's like, come on!
Yeah, so he throws a bone anyways. One of his own.
Yeah, from his rib.
That was so funny to me when I was little.
As we're talking about this, I'm realizing how dark of a movie this is.
Oh, yeah. It's so dark.
I mean, just throwing your rib bone. It's fine. It's fine. And then it's the next day, and the mayor goes to Jack's house to discuss next Halloween, because, you know, it's the day after Halloween. You got to get started on next year's plans.
Yeah.
But Jack's not there, and the mayor's like, what the hell? And this took me, I will say I'm slow. This took me years to figure out why he had two faces. Why the mayor has two faces. Because he's a two-faced politician. And it just cracked me up when I realized that.
Oh.
And my brother was like, seriously? It took you that long? Like, shut up, I'm slow. Did you just get that?
Yep. But I don't really deal with I don't do anything with politics. Like, I just ignore it because it pisses me off. So
it was just a funny joke. I got that, honestly, in high school. And my brother's like, it took you this long to figure that out? I'm like, hey, leave me alone.
But I mean, I've never really, even when I was little, I never had anything, like my parents never talked about politics, anything like that. Then when I got to high school, government class, like I paid attention, but I don't remember anything from my government class. And then I got to college and I still didn't care. And I still don't really care now. Like, I will do my research and I will vote, but I just don't care. So,
yeah, same.
Like, that joke just went over my head. I never really thought about it because I just had no involvement in politics almost my entire life, so.
Yeah, my government class wasn't fun. I was literally stuck in front of the teacher the entire time because he was a pervert, so.
I hated my government class because the entire time, anytime they had to compare something to, like, their own world, they would always compare it to how they hated people in band. So.
Are you serious?
Yep. Because that was when I moved. And it was like a huge, like, kind of culture shock for me because when I was in Texas, the people in marching band did everything. Like, we were all in sports. We were all, like, there was tons of us that were in marching band and sports. There were tons of us that were in marching band and cheerleader. Like, we did everything. And then when I moved to Colorado, if you were in band, you did absolutely nothing else. And everybody hated you because you were in band.
Oh, well, I didn't have that problem in high school.
So I never really paid attention.
I was like,
when
yeah.
it came to
because when
class.
I was in high school, in band, we had people in sports all the time. We had people in speech. We had people in drama. Like, they did all kinds of other things. And it wasn't a big deal.
That's how it was when I was in Texas, and then I came here, and it was just, like, completely different, and I hated it.
I don't know. Might be your school. I don't know. I don't know.
hated
Mine
that
was
school.
fine.
I
But,
hated
of
that
course,
school.
I lived out in the county, and we're a bunch of hicks out there, so no one really gave a shit.
I lived in Windsor
Windsor.
for 2 years. I hated that school so much.
So did I. I was like, Windsor beat county 1 year at state, that's why. But anyways.
I just know my senior year we won state, so I don't, like, I was only there my junior and senior year. My junior year we got third, my senior year we won. So I don't know anything about any of the rivalries. I don't give two shits about the rivalries because I fucking hate that school. So I don't fucking care.
So let's move on. We got distracted.
Yeah.
So, and you see where Jack had been. I thought this was funny. He was sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And he'd been wandering all night, and he sees, like, the trees have thinned out. And he sees this ring of trees in a circle. And they look like different things. Like, you see
You got your
a
turkey.
heart, a turkey,
An Easter egg.
an Easter egg, shamrock.
Yeah.
You also see...
And I know what's in that door, and I don't want to go in that door. I've seen Leprechaun. I don't want to go in that door.
And, of course, I mean, there's the Halloween one. And you see Jack gets really entranced by this door that's like a Christmas tree. And it's shiny and bright. And he's like, ooh, what is this?
Yeah.
And that's literally what the next song is.
I love
Because he
that song,
pulls
too.
the door open, he looks inside and gets sucked down into the world. And the song, What's This? Is next.
I love that song. And it's really cool because of their portrayal of the Christmastown. It's just, it seems like it's up at the North Pole. Well, I mean, it is, because you got the elves and everything. And then you've also got Santa and Mrs. Claus up there, and you just get to see, like, kind of how elves live. And he's fascinated by it.
He's completely fascinated. And he's like, what are all these wonderful things, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, well, what's this? What is this about? And like, what is this snow thing? Like, he has like tries eating the snow and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? That sounds like something I would do too.
Yeah.
It's like, eat the snow. It's like, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's edible. I don't know.
When I was younger, we didn't get a lot of snow in Texas, but when we did, my grandma would put a bucket out to collect the snow, and then she would make ice cream out of the snow.
Ice cream.
Uh-huh. It's
Oh.
so good. Snow ice cream is like the best ice cream in the world. Because you just make it like you would make normal ice cream from home, but with snow.
Oh.
And it's so good.
That does sound good.
It's so good. So him eating it, I just thought it was like snow ice cream, like what my grandma would make. I thought that's why he was eating it.
It's like, it was actual snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actual snow there.
But when I was little, I was like, oh, his grandma made him snow ice cream. Because I was little and I thought that's what it was.
So then he finally, you know, like, he's so excited he accidentally smacks himself into a pole.
Yeah.
Because he's
right
like,
into
what the
sign.
hell is this?
It
And he
says
looks up and it says,
Christmastown.
you know, Christmastown. And then he hears Santa's door open and you hear a ho, ho, ho. And he's like,
Yep.
who's this?
Yeah.
You know, very puzzled and everything. And it goes back to Halloween, the Halloweentown, and people were like looking for Jack. They're like, where is he?
Yeah.
And there's some good
'Cause-
quotes there too.
Yeah. And the singing, the little band people, they're like, he's been gone. He hasn't been home all night.
Yeah,
Like,
he's been gone. It's like, we don't know where he is. He just left. He hasn't been
Yeah.
home. We don't know where he is. We just hang out here. That's about it.
so then they start sounding the alarm
Yep.
because Jack is missing.
And then we go to Sally.
Yep.
And she's cooking. It looks like a soup or something. And she slips some deadly nightshade into it. And she's like, she covers it up with frog's breath.
Yep.
And then worm's wort.
Yep.
And she takes it up to the doctor. And, he's very suspicious of her because, she's already, poisoned him one time. Probably more than that. So
Probably
I would be
more.
pretty suspicious too. And so she convinces them, oh no, it's good. And she fakes it by having a spoon with holes in it.
Yep.
And pretends to eat some of it. And tricks him to
She's
eating
like,
it.
oh, it's so good.
It's so good. Mmm.
Yeah.
And then you see Jack comes back.
Yeah. And everybody's super excited that he's coming back. But he calls a town meeting because he's got all this stuff and he wants to show everybody. And so...
We get to the town meeting song.
Yes, I love that Christmastown. Like, this is what Christmastown has to offer. And this is awesome, he says.
Yeah, he's talking about it and everything. And they're, like, a little confused. They're like, what is this about? Like, what's inside the presents? Or why, why did they do this? Why did they have stockings on the wall? Their feet in it?
He goes, maybe it's the head that I found in the lake. I love that part. It cracks me up every time.
Oh, I mean, it's Halloween people getting a crash course on Christmas.
Yeah.
So I can see why they automatically think back to, like, their dark ways.
Yeah.
Like a head in a box or a severed foot.
Yeah.
I mean, that works for them. That's what they know. And so Jack, he's like, okay, they're not getting it. So what he does, he talks about Santa Claus. And he makes Santa Claus kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Says he's got claws and everything.
He
comes at
talking about
nighttime.
the wrong one. He needs to talk about Krampus. That might get him interested.
That would probably get them interested. But I don't think he met Krampus in Christmastown.
No, probably not, because Krampus is not from Christmastown.
No, he's pretty dark. I mean, was he
Yeah.
from, like, hell or something?
Yes. Yes, he is. But that's tomorrow.
And so they're excited. They're like, okay, yeah, let's do this. And Jack's like, they're excited, but they don't really get the feeling of it. They don't really
Yeah.
understand truly what it feels like to be in that place and to really, truly feel that Christmas spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets to Jack is studying Christmas.
Yeah.
And he's looking at all these books, and he's like, he's got a stack of books, too, of, like, all these, like, Christmas stories and Christmas carols. He's like, I gotta make this more logical for myself. So, of course, he starts reading the book. It says The Scientific Method, which cracks me up. So I'm like, well, okay. You're trying to make things easier for you to understand, so.
Yeah.
And he goes to Dr. Finkelstein to get some equipment. And Sally's there because, she went back and the doctor had locked her up because, poisoned him again.
Yeah.
And Sally's puzzled, like, what is he wanting, like, equipment for experiments for? What is he up to?
Like, this is probably not good.
Probably not a good thing, but,
Sorry, I'm getting candy corn. Oh, now my hand's stuck in the bag. Sorry. Okay, I got some. Sorry. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. So, he starts doing these experiments at his house to figure out, like, what Christmas really is about, like, better understand it. So, like, he cuts open, like, a teddy bear to see what's inside of it.
Stuffing.
Well, yeah, but he didn't know that. That's a bear. What's inside of a bear?
Stuffing.
Organs, maybe. I don't know.
Stuffing.
It's Halloweentown. They might have anatomically correct toys. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool, though.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And he does, like, all these different experiments and everything. And you see Sally is making him something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this drink or something. And she puts, like, this powder in it, like, to make something.
She's gonna poison Jack, too.
I don't think she's gonna poison Jack. I think she actually kind of likes Jack, so. But you can kind of think that. I'm like, okay, she's already poisoned one person. Twice.
That's what I always thought when I was little. She was gonna poison Jack because she knew what he was gonna do. That's what I always thought.
That's dark.
Not like poison him to kill him, but poison him to stop what he was doing, like make him sick or something. But that's what I always thought. I was like, here we go.
And after she, gets her basket all together, she opens the window and flings herself out.
Yep.
And I'm like...
She's a doll, so it's okay.
And I'm like, yeah, she's a rag doll, so it'll be fine. But, again, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah.
I keep having to remind myself of that, but... And, of course, she fixes herself, what, a leg and an arm fell off.
Uh-huh.
She fixes herself up and everything, and then she goes over to Jack's house. Because they're actually right near each other. They're pretty close.
Yeah.
And the doctor sees that, he's going to let Sally out and everything, but she already left. So he's like, you know what? Screw this.
Yeah. Then Jack gets Sally's basket. She managed to get it up to his window. And she sits down next to these, like, little flowers, and she picks one of them and starts doing without saying it, doing the, do you love me not? She, like, picks the first one off, but then she has, like, this vision, kind of.
Yes.
Where the little flower turns into a Christmas tree and burns.
Up in flames. It's like, oh, that's not a good thing.
Then we get Something's Up with Jack.
Yes, it's called Jack's Obsession.
Yep.
And he's still up there. The people are like, okay, he's up there for quite a while. I wonder what's going on with him.
Yeah.
And he's up there still trying to figure out what Christmas is all about. And he doesn't know what it means. So he's getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Then he realizes, like, wait a minute. I think I'm just trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you know what? I'm going to do this Christmas thing myself. And you know what? He's like, you know what? I can do it. He can do it. Why can't I? And so he decides, you know what? Screw it. We're going to take over Christmas.
Yep.
And he shouts it to the entire town, too, from his window.
And then we see Sally's not very happy. Because she's still sitting down there. She had just had her vision. So she's not very happy at all.
No. Not at all. And then it gets to, people are getting assigned jobs.
Uh-huh.
For Christmas. And the doctor gets assigned to make the reindeer.
Yep.
And then we get our trick-or-treaters.
Lock, shock, and barrel.
Halloween's finest trick-or-treaters and everything.
I love them.
And they are, we'll get to it, they're Oogie Boogie's little henchmen.
Yep.
And Jack's like, whispers in their ears what exactly he wants them to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're not allowed to tell Oogie Boogie at all. He's like, leave him out of this. And they're like, oh,
okay.
Yeah. They're like,
no
yeah,
problem.
sure, okay. Fingers crossed. So, of course, they're lying.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we get our little kidnap Mr. Santa Claus.
Yeah. I love that song too. Like, all of these, I love these songs. Like, this music is great. I love it.
It's a wonderful soundtrack. So, they're talking about how they're going to kidnap Santa Claus while they're at their little place. And Oogie Boogie lives right below them. So he can hear everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And their plot just gets, like, crazier and more, how do I say this? Vicious as the song goes on.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll beat him with a stick. I'm like, oh my God, you're children.
But so they go off on their little plan and everything, and then Jack is still giving people jobs and stuff, and Sally comes up and she's like, oh, perfect. Or he's like, oh, perfect, I want you to make my suit. She's like, I don't think this is a good idea.
She tries warning him, yeah, but he's like, no, it'll be fine. And So Lock, Shock, and Barrel come back, and they're like, we got him. And then out jumps the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not Santa Claus. They're like, it's not. They're like, he's like, well, which door did you go through? They went through the wrong door.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the one that looks like this. And he hands him like a little Christmas tree ornament.
Yeah.
And so they have to take the Easter Bunny back.
Yep, they take him back. And then they go kidnap the real Santa Claus.
Yeah. So you see the doctor's making, he's figuring out, he's making himself a new person to hang out with, like he had with Sally, but something different. And his assistant, was it Igor, is showing the plans for the reindeer. We get, of course, our Making Christmas song.
Yeah.
So they're making all like their versions of Christmas presents. I mean, like a roadkill, a bat hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these different things. And they're like Halloween related, but they're Christmas presents.
Yep.
So.
But while all this is going on, we also see that Santa is making his preparations too.
Yep. So it's going on the exact same time. You know, they're making their version of Christmas, and of course, the Christmastown people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And you see the skeleton reindeer coming alive, and they use a coffin as a sled for the sleigh.
Yeah.
And they'll end up with presents and everything, and they're about ready to go. And you see, it jumps back over to Christmastown, and you see Santa is reading from the Nice and Naughty list. And you see Mrs. Claus in the kitchen putting a pie in his lunch pail.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, he's going to be eating a bunch of cookies. Do you really think he needs more?
Yep.
And I'm like, does Santa have diabetes?
Probably.
Okay, because all those cookies. So much cookies. And he hears the door. And so he's like, well, who could that be? And he sees our trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
At the door with a bag. And of course they get him.
Yeah, they take him away. And they disobey Jack and take him to Oogie Boogie.
Well, not yet. Yet.
Yeah, but
Soon.
they still take
They
him
will.
to Oogie Boogie.
They will take him to Oogie Boogie, yeah. It's, goes back to Sally's finishing Jack's suit. And she's like, please don't go. It's not going to go well. And then the trick-or-treaters come back with Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Santa's like, what the hell is this place?
Yeah.
And Jack's like, don't worry, Santa. I'm covering Christmas for you. You get a little vacation.
He's like, what?
And he's like, just relax. He's like, oh, I know what I was missing. And he takes Santa's hat.
Yep.
And then, of course, they take him to Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
And Sally's like, she's like, how the hell am I going to stop Jack from leaving? And so she gets this fog juice.
Yep. And she puts it into the fountain and becomes all foggy and everything.
And while that's happening, the trick-or-treaters are stuffing Santa down the tube.
Yep.
Down to Oogie Boogie.
Yep.
And then we get, like, this jazzy Oogie Boogie song.
Yeah. I love the Oogie Boogie song.
And Oogie Boogie's literally just making fun of Santa the entire time.
Yeah.
Just giving him shit. He's like, who the hell's this? He's like, you're special? Okay, whatever.
Like, yeah, I don't believe that.
And Santa's like, this is like my night. I need to get out of here. And
Yeah.
Oogie's like, yeah, you're not going anywhere.
And, so then they all think that they're not going to be able to do Christmas. They think Christmas is ruined because of the fog. So they are everybody's all sad and everything. But then Zero comes up and he's like barking and stuff. And Jack's like, no, go away. But then he's like, hey, your nose.
Your nose is glowing. Perfect. You can lead the way.
Yeah. So then they take off.
And Sally's like, oh, great. So then we get her song.
Yep. Sally's song.
And she's like, ugh, he's just so caught up in everything, you know. He'll never notice, you know, that I'm trying to do some good things for him.
Yeah.
And then you see Jack is delivering the toys.
Yeah. And the first kid, he gets his, and he's like, he realizes that Santa has been there. Well, he thinks Santa has been there. And so he runs down the stairs and opens his present up, and he starts screaming. And Jack's already gone.
Because Jack had given him to the present.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Jack had, like, because the kid caught Jack putting presents. He's like, oh, I got one special for you. Gives him the box and shoots back up it. And then his parents come down.
It's like, what did Santa give you?
Opens it up, shrunken head.
Yep. Starts screaming. And they call the police. And then the entire time, Jack thinks it's a good thing. And the police are getting called from, like, all over the place. And there's, like, news reports of what's happening. And it's just, like...
all these different things. Like, the wreath is...
yeah.
The wreath's alive.
And I do want to say, I think that this part, like, yes, the music that is happening with, like, words and stuff is all great. It's amazing. But I honestly think that the music that's going on in this part is probably the best.
I love this music right here. Because it's literally just, like, it's all happy and everything, and everything's just falling apart.
Yeah.
It's great contrast. These possessed toys, they're chasing after children and everything.
Yeah.
My favorite part, though, is the fat kid getting chased by the Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. I
love the sound during it, too, because it's, like, laughing as it's chasing him.
I'm not glad. I love that part. It
but
gets
then
me
also,
every time.
like, it's laughing as it's chasing him, but then the music is kind of mirroring it, too.
Exactly.
Which makes it great.
Oh, bravo. Bravo,
yeah.
Elfman. Mwah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's. I love this music.
And so people are just starting to block off their fireplaces and everything. And you hear on the radio that there's an imposter and that the military, is going to take him out.
Yeah.
And,
Jack thinks that when they start shooting at him that they're celebrating him, and I'm like, no, not really. But...
No. And in Halloweentown, they can see in the well.
Yeah.
And they see everything and hear everything that's going on, and they're like, yay, excited, that, Jack's doing a good job. Yeah. And Sally realizes what's going on. She's like, I need to go get Santa and get him to fix this.
Yeah.
And she goes down. She's like, where did they take him? And then she realized, oh, it's Lock, Stock, and Barrel. So he's with Oogie. So she goes down there. And, of course, Oogie's still messing around with Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And she tries tricking Oogie Buggy by sticking her nice long leg out.
Yeah. But that's it. It's just her leg.
It's just her leg because, ragdoll. And she has her hands, too, slide down and cover Santa's mouth, and she says, I'll get you out of here. And, Oogie Boogie's distracted by her leg.
Yep.
And she gets him untied, and she throws down this ladder. But then Oogie realizes it's just a trap.
Yeah.
It's not. He's all pissed off because he's, trying to dupe him. So,
yeah.
Sucks him all down.
Yeah. And then,
we do see that Jack gets shot down.
Yep. And then the reports, like the, what's it? Like the news reports and everything are saying that they got him. and that Christmas is going to be canceled because they don't know where the real Santa is. And then we get Jack's What Have I Done? I don't know what the name of that song is called.
I'm thinking.
But we get that song.
And he's like, I was like, he was just saying, I was trying to, make things better, trying to help myself out. And then he realized, like, you know what? I'm a damn pumpkin king.
Yep.
So it gets like, it's like just doing this helped bring back the energy that he used to have, that, passion that he used to have for Halloween.
Yep.
And so he's like, I got some good ideas now for next Halloween. It's going to be awesome.
Super excited. But all the while, everybody in Halloweentown thinks he's dead.
Yeah. Because they kind of just heard that he was shot down.
Yeah.
And they don't know he's alive still. So the mayor's driving around telling everybody that, Jack's dead.
Yeah.
And of course, Jack's like, uh-oh, I better go get Santa.
Yep.
He's like, I hope there's still time to fix this. And while he's doing that, they hear the mayor, Sally, is tied up with Santa Claus, down with Oogie.
Yep.
And they hear that Jack, because she's like, oh, Jack's going to get you, to Oogie. And they hear that Jack's dead. And he's like, what were you saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, ha, okay, whatever you say. And, you see that Jack is there. He shows up.
Yeah.
And he crawls down.
To save Santa and Sally.
And, he's trying to put them into, like, this, was it, like, lava or something like that?
Yeah, some kind of lava or something. I wasn't quite sure what it was supposed to be.
I don't know. Because they're on, like, this table, and it's been tilting slowly.
Yeah.
And then he tilts it all the way. And I love this music right here. Because he's confused because he didn't hear anything drop down. And he pushes it back, and it's Jack.
Yeah.
I was like, that is some great music right there. I love that part. Because it just reveals, like, oh, it's Jack.
Yeah, and then they're kind of fighting and stuff. And one of the little strings from Oogie gets caught.
Yes.
In the turner that's, like, stirring the lava or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he slowly becomes unraveled, and it reveals that he is made of bugs.
Yeah, and it didn't help. Jack was pulling on the string, too.
Yeah. And when I was little, that always just give me the heebie-jeebies because of all the bugs. I was like, ew, what if all those bugs were really inside you?
I mean, it worked, and then think, like, all the bugs just kind of just fall apart because, there's nothing holding them together anymore.
Yeah, and it's cool because they're all, like, talking and stuff. They're all doing cute little bug voices
like
and
my
stuff.
Bugs.
Yeah.
And then Santa Claus squishes one.
Yeah.
And Jax apologizes to Santa. He's like, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah,
and Santa's like, you better listen to her because she's the only one who makes sense.
Yep.
Talking about Sally. He's like, and Jack's like, well, I hope you can fix it. He's like, I'm Santa. I can fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And he has his hat on and he just goes through the pipe easily.
Yep.
So as I was younger, I was like, it's all in the hat.
Yeah.
It's gotta be all in the hat.
And then he's like, he goes and he fixes all of Christmas, like starts fixing all the presents and everything, and all the kids are super excited. And then it also starts snowing in Halloweentown.
Yeah, because you see Santa flying over.
Yeah.
And he says, Happy Halloween.
Yeah, which is funny.
And Jack's like, well, Merry Christmas. And they get snow, and everyone's playing in the snow. And you see that the doctor had made a new companion. So he doesn't need Sally anymore.
Yep.
And
So
Sally sees
gets
this,
to go.
so she just walks away. Up onto this hill, which had Jack would have been on earlier with his lament.
Yep.
And she goes and sits up there. Like, was it like a dried flower or something like that?
Yeah. And then Jack joins her. He's like, can I join you?
And then happy ending.
Yep.
Like, and that's the end of it.
Yep. And so, like we kind of hinted at already, we really enjoy this movie. Or this music for
Completely.
this movie. Hold on one sec. Sorry. Everybody thinks I just post fucking deadlines for no fucking reason. Somebody else is late. He just posted pics. Not, Nico. He still hasn't posted his pics, but I had to tell him that he missed a game for being late, and then also missed this first game. So he's missed 2 games. He gets 2 losses because he was late, so far. Yeah. I mean, this person, it's, Ryan is late, and he's not anywhere near the top, so it doesn't matter anyways, but...
Sure.
So, anyways, the music is by Danny Elfman, who we have had before in 2 events. We had him previously for Batman in our superhero event, and then we also had him for Beetlejuice in our Halloween event.
I will have to say, I think this is one of his best scores.
It is a really good one.
I think it's one of his best ones.
But I like Batman. Because that theme
Someone's
is
biased because it's
still
Batman.
used today. No, like, that is an amazing freaking theme, and it's still used today in Batman stuff. So.
He's good at writing theme songs, I'll say that.
Yeah, he is really good at themes.
I mean, Batman, The Simpsons, Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. But I do enjoy this music a lot. And we kind of already talked about the music, because we were just talking about it as we went. Because it's a musical, so.
Yeah, in a sense it is.
So, there's not, I don't think this is a book.
It's an original story by Tim Burton.
That's what I thought.
It's technically it's a poem that he wrote.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a poem about, it's part trivia too, that when he saw that the Christmas displays are being put up, and then the Halloween ones are being replaced. And so the mix of Halloween and Christmas together inspired him to make the poem that cool. Nightmare Before Christmas is based on. And people always get confused that they think this is Tim Burton directed it, but he didn't. He just wrote the story for it.
Yeah.
So, that's part of
that.
that.
But you can kind of see his influence in it is probably why.
Oh, he's got a lot of influence in it.
He's very influential in it.
He has a lot of influence in this. And it helps that Henry has a similar style to Tim. So that's why they got along so well. That's why this movie worked great with both of them.
Yeah. So, any other trivia?
Oh, I got more.
Go for it. Just keep going.
So, like we talked about with the songs were actually written first. Before the actual movie was anything. Okay, so they're like, Danny, write the songs. We'll make the story along with the songs.
Yeah.
And so that's why the songs and the story just like mesh together just so beautifully. And they fit together so well because the songs were written first.
That makes sense. I mean, I did know that, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I got a bunch. So it took 3 years to make.
Makes sense because it's stop motion.
Stop motion. Stop motion takes quite a long time to do. So for every second of the movie, they have to move it 12 times.
Dang.
Yeah. That's why stop motion is such an amazing art form. And I feel like it's not as appreciated as it needs to be.
Well, a lot of people don't know how much work goes into it.
As people, just watch. I really appreciate, I will say this company, Leica, the one that did we've seen them with Paranorman, the same company.
Okay.
And they're the ones really doing a lot of stop motion. And at the end credits, they always show how, like, one scene is done. They show how the people are moving the characters slowly, very slowly, and how long it takes, which I like. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Because I'm like, people have to really understand how much is put into this. Every little thing, every little detail. This is 76 minutes long, and it took 3 years to make. So, what else? There's a lot.
That's fine.
So, it's like, where do I start? So, there's 2 things invented for this, going with stop motion. A light alarm, which tells the people, the animators, people moving the puppets, if there's any stage lights that fail. Because if those fail, that shot's ruined.
Yeah.
And the other one was to switch a puppet out if it broke. A system to do that. And so, again, if that didn't work, like, just switch out the puppet really quick, or the light worked, shot was destroyed. And you couldn't use it.
Okay.
So that would even take longer. So just with this movie, those 2 things helped with stop motion so much, and probably helped way long down the line.
Yeah.
Because as we've seen, stop motion movies have gone longer.
Yeah.
They have. They've gone longer. I know some recent ones. I know Coraline's pretty long.
Yeah, Coraline is, I think, almost 2 hours.
It's very long, but it's all stop motion.
Yeah.
And you see, this is 93. Coraline came out in 2009. So think of that span. That's what, 16 years difference? And see how much it's developed that way. And it helped, this movie, I will say, really helped grow that passion of stop motion. I mean, there's been others, like we saw with Santa Claus Coming to Town, that is stop motion, but it's a different type. It's the wooden puppets. And these are clay. These are, there's like electric parts slowly coming into the stop motion. And then this movie, this is the one that really hit it.
Yeah, I feel like this is the one that really has helped, because if you look at other stop motions that have come out since this movie, there's a lot that you can see that was taken from this movie. Especially if you know this movie so well, you can see how much influence it has on some other things.
Completely. So I'm like, it's technically a Disney movie now.
Yeah.
Because Disney bought Touchstone, which is the original company that did this. And this is actually Touchstone's only stop motion movie, which I think is cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
There's one more thing. Where is it? Oh, this one I actually know for certain. So, if you've been to Disneyland, I don't know about Disney World, but I know Disneyland does this. For the Haunted Mansion, they do it Nightmare Before Christmas themed during the holiday season. So, like, I think they do it, like, right after, like, in November was when they started. Is they switch from the regular Haunted Mansion to the Nightmare Before Christmas related one. So, instead of, like, you're seeing, like, the normal characters of the Haunted Mansion, you start seeing, like, Jack and Sally and Oogie Boogie and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And the whole thing changes. Like, the Haunted Mansion is changed completely. It's decorated with, like, Nightmare Before Christmas related stuff. The entrance over changes to, it says Haunted Mansion, the holiday edition. And it's the creature from under the bed.
Oh.
That's the part of the entrance of it.
That's
and cool. Jack is actually sitting in his Santa outfit at the entrance, too.
That's cool.
And I think that was it. They only started doing this, 18 years ago or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's like, because, Disney, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, when they finally got it.
When they finally got it, they're like, oh, this is perfect. I'm not going to lie, that was my favorite ride when I went to Disneyland. Is the Haunted Mansion when I went, because there's the Nightmare Before Christmas version of it, which is so cool. It's so cool. So I'm going to have to go back and see the actual Haunted Mansion regular version of it.
The Haunted Mansion regular version is fun.
Is it? I haven't seen it yet. Someday when I go back.
If you've seen the Haunted Mansion movie, you can, it's because the ride influenced the movie.
Yeah.
It's a lot, you could see a lot of the movie in it.
Okay. Oh, I got 2 more things. Well, 3. I can keep going. So I know this because I have the soundtrack. The original narrator was Patrick Stewart.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He's the original one.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that because I think I've heard the soundtrack before because I think my dad has it. And I remember listening to it and I was like, that's not the same person in the movie.
It's not. The person in the movie was actually Santa Claus. Narrating it. The actor was doing it. Speaking of Santa Claus, do you know who was almost Santa Claus?
No.
Vincent Price. Which I think is wonderful because Tim Burton and Vincent Price actually got along really well with each other. I mean, if you've seen Edward Scissorhands, Vincent Price is in it.
Yeah, I love Edward Scissorhands.
And this is actually, I've seen this stop motion. It's about a 5-minute stop motion movie that Tim Burton made. It's called Vincent. And in Vincent, it's Vincent Price narrating it. Oh, so they've worked together a long time. And they were going to use Vincent's voice for, Santa Claus. But after Vincent's wife passed away, his health just started failing and his voice, it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So they had to recast it, sadly. So I'd be very curious to hear what Vincent Price's Santa Claus would sound like.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah. I think that'd be really cool. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think. If people don't know that Zero's nose is a jack-o'-lantern, you don't watch the movie. It is. It's a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, I've seen it. I just thought that was funny what you said.
I'm just saying. If you're not paying attention to the movie. So yeah, I think that's it. That I can think of.
I don't have anything. So favorite line.
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Where is it? The narrator at the beginning. Now you've probably wondered where holidays come from. If you haven't, I'd say it's time you've begun. I love that, how he delivers that line is great. I love it. And then, you're mine, I made you with my own hands. I just think that's funny. She doesn't care. Whatever. This year, Christmas will be ours. A lot of them are just, the whole song. Just, the whole song.
They're, song.
Yeah. Just the whole song.
I mean, I can see that, too.
But that's pretty much it. Because most of the rest of them, it's just the songs.
I love all the songs, so I can't say. This is the one I sent you. Nothing's more suspicious than frog's breath.
Yeah.
Just because I cannot see it doesn't mean I can't believe it.
Oh yeah, I like that one. That one's in the song.
Mm-hmm. It's in his Obsession song. This is Oogie Boogie. He says, "What? Snake eyes?" Then pounds the table and it switches to it. Different number. He's like, 11.
Yeah.
I'll always love that. It always cracks me up. And then this is Santa Claus. It's just a long spiel, but I like it. The next time you get the urge to take over someone else's holiday, I listen to her. She's the only one who makes sense around this insane asylum.
Yeah.
I don't know what to pick.
Well,
There's a lot of them. I mean,
yeah.
there's so many good quotes in this movie. I'm thinking.
It's fine. It gives me time to decide where I wanted to put it anyways.
I'm stuck between 3 of them. Nothing's more suspicious than frog's breath. Just because I cannot see it doesn't mean I can't believe it. And the next time you get the urge to take over someone else's holiday, I'd listen to her.
Let's do the just because you cannot see it.
Doesn't mean can't believe it. Just because I cannot see it doesn't mean I can't believe it. It's in the song, so.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, yeah.
Okay. So, I already know, but you need to tell everybody else what your rating is.
Mine's a 10. It's, again, I'm trying to restrain myself. I absolutely love this movie. I watch it all year round. I love the songs. The stop motion animation is just fantastic.
Yeah.
So many good quotes in here. I love the concept of it. You know, Halloween's trying to take over Christmas. And I'm like thinking like, well, Christmas tries to do that to Halloween all the time. So it's nice to see that, you know, Halloween's fighting back.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I love this movie. There's nothing more I can say of it. It's one of my favorite movies. And I'm very highly surprised this is not on our list. And I know you
It's
told
really
me,
close.
you told me why you think it is not on the list. Because it's a holiday movie that most people only watch around Halloween or Christmas. And I'm like, you people are insane. This is a year-round movie. But that's me. I love this movie. So I watch it all the time. So, it's a 10 for me.
Okay. For me, it is a 9. Just because, like, looking at my other 9s from our list and then also from other movies that we've watched and stuff, like, for events and stuff like that, that's just where it fits for me. And it's not because, like, I find anything wrong with it. I'm just like, well, some of my 9s I like better. So, it's just, that's how it works. Like, it's just where I have to put it. Because I do love this movie a lot. And if it's on, I will sit and watch it, and I will be completely entranced. Like, I was watching it, and Sean came and sat in the room with me for a minute. And he's like, you love this movie, don't you? I was like, yes. And he just didn't even look at him. I just answered it. Just answered the question and kept watching the movie. So I do love this movie, but it fits better with my 9s. Because it is one, like, if it's on, I will sit and I will watch it and I will be entranced. But it's not one of those that I can watch, like, 6 times in a row in one day and still be perfectly fine with it. I think that's really what determines my 9s from my 10s.
That's kind of...
Like, if I can sit there for an entire day watching only that movie, that is a 10 for me.
I can.
Yeah, I understand that.
I can.
But this is just one of those, like, I could probably watch it 2 or 3 times in a week, but I can't watch it all day long and be fine with it. I think it would just, to me, be a little bit too much watching it all day.
Oh, I could.
But I love this movie, so it's a 9 for me.
I understand that. I do. And I'm glad it's that high. I really am. Especially since it's kind of a musical.
Yeah.
But it's a darker musical. That's probably
Yeah,
why.
it's like Little Shop of Horrors.
Exactly.
So that's it for this one. Our next film, which will be coming out tomorrow, is Krampus, which is from 2015. So we will see you tomorrow with that one. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.
Bye.